Now, you talk about how to understand what drives and motivates team members. Give us some dish on that, if you would.
I think having a shared responsibility among your team, and what you need is a clear set of objectives. And I'm all about driving what I call data without drama. And so you bring to a team a set of objectives, you focus on the real data with what the expected outcomes are, and you ask the team and coach them how to work together so that you get a joint solution to the problem rather than an individual superstar, carrying the whole load.
Yeah. And sometimes leaders and managers can do that, where they try and carry the whole load without doing proper distribution of tasks and stuff,
And this was the big epiphany for me because, I thought when I dropped out of college to go to work because I had to support myself. And so I got a job very early as a warehouseman. Then I became a manager, and my ego got the best of me. And I thought, okay, I've just been promoted. I'm the smartest guy in the room. I can run faster, talk faster, do more than anybody else. And I sort of felt anointed and didn't understand the gift that I had been given to lead people. And it wasn't until 3M bought the company and I had a new boss who sort of really helped me start to think about what my role was. It was not to be the best single person. It was to bring out the best in everybody else.
It's interesting to me how many people get promoted in a company because they feel that they have leadership skills, but they don't give them any training.
Yeah, I truly believe that unless you're working with someone, I'll say a mentor who's going to help you grow, you have to sort of figure it out on your own. And so my approach when I went back to college, I had this non-traditional college education where I was going to school in the evening and working during the day. So I had this workshop during the day that I could take problems to my classes at night, and at night I could get some more theory, talk to my classmates, come back in and try it out on the people the next day. So for me, my approach was to say, okay, I'm already working, I've got that. Where can I go get the skills and the experience to be able to learn how to manage these folks, learn how to help them grow? And so for me, that interplay between real life problems at work, practical solutions being taught in the evening, and over the course of, 3.5 or 4 years that it took me to get both degrees, it was really helpful because I just had this sort of coaching ability that it wasn't my boss. It was coming from a array of personalities and skill sets from the teachers that I had.
When you promote people, you really should put them through a training, irregardless of what you think they have. And maybe there needs to be a thing where people go, okay, this person has leadership skills, but what holes do they need to fill in,
And so about 2002, I joined an organization where it was losing money. They were been public a few years. They were 27 million, losing 7 million. And I was brought in to as the operations guy to help sort of curb the losses, et cetera. And about 15 months later, we got a new CEO. And within 3 weeks, we were profitable because he had the guts to kill the product line that didn't make any sense and realign the organization. We then did 15 acquisitions in 8 years. And I was on the firing line for every one of those acquisitions. My job after we did the due diligence about the company was to be there the day the deal closed and now take this upset company who had just lost their boss and their owner or whatever it was and get them folded into the organization. And one of the things I found in many of those companies is these people had not been empowered. They were a sort of do what you're told to do, don't make any waves, be a sycophant to the owner, and everything will be fine.
Yeah.
My approach was, wait, I'm going to empower all of these people. And one of the things I had learned is how to empower people without losing control of the organization. And so I developed what I'll call a safety net approach where, we'll develop clear expectations. We're going to teach you how to do collaborative thinking, consensus decision making. You make the decision, pick a direction. Let's monitor where you're going. And, I'll check in on a weekly basis or a monthly basis and we'll see how we're doing. Yeah. Not to punish anybody, but to just say, how do we course correct? What do we now know that we didn't know then? And I sort of taught this model to people so they started to feel free to make a decision knowing that their boss wasn't going to fire them if they get it wrong. What they're going to fire them for is if they make a decision and don't follow up on it, and then just hope for success. I mean, hope is not a viable strategy. So,
What?
I guess for some
I hope
folks,
it is. No, I'm just kidding. I had to do that joke.
but I think, for me, learning to delegate and learning to empower people in a way that was recognize their self-respect and their ability to contribute was a big learning step for me.